Calling all around the world. Mumbo jumbo, stir up the gumbo. Calling all around the world. Get it. Start with a roux, that's me and you. Add the Holy Trinity. That's rhythm, chords, and melody. Come on now, add your spice. Tell your story, very nice. Calling all around the world. Stir that vocal gumbo now. Calling all stir it up, stir it up. Get it.
Yes. That's our jingle.
I can't get enough of it. I just can't.
You know what? Funny thing, everybody. Hello, this is Janis Siegel and Lauren Kinhan just hanging out in our kitchens, and we're just going to make small talk with each other. Want to watch?
Well, you're not in your kitchen. Tell us where you are.
I am in lovely San Diego, where every day is a balmy 75 degrees, and people say hello and just, I don't know. There's a contentment. There's a level of contentment here that's really contagious. So I'm trying to latch on to that.
Okay, can you please help me? Because why are you in San Diego? I thought your sisters live in Phoenix and in Oregon.
Wait a minute. Didn't I tell you that I left Phoenix and now I'm in San Diego? Wait a minute.
Not really.
Okay. So here's what happened. Okay. So on June 2nd, I flew to Phoenix, Arizona, and I was there for a good, almost 2 weeks, visiting my two sisters and my nieces. And I flew with my daughter, Ella, and we've been swimming, and mostly swimming because it's 110 degrees.
Yeah. You got a heat wave going on.
So it's crazy. But wonderful visit there, and first time I'm seeing my siblings, right?
Yeah.
Since it's been over a year and a half, solid year and a half, if not more. And then we just got in the wagon and stuffed it to the gills, and we're now we drove to San Diego, and then we're going to drive up the coast to Oregon, where I'll be parking for the rest of the summer and hanging out with my mom and my brother and
iPad Linda.
Linda.
My God.
Yep. All day long.
I'm so jelly. So jelly.
Well, you guys can come. In fact, all of you should just come. Come on and hang out with iPad Linda.
And I want to go to the crappie store.
Well, we're going to have to do a shoot about that. That there's going to have to be a story about that.
Please, could you do that?
Yeah. Well, for those of you that are tuning into this, if you stumbled upon this little duo discussion here, we're talking about, of course, Vocal Gumbo and this wonderful show that we started over a year ago, and now we're starting to move. We're starting to. I saw today that the governor said that New York City is over 70% vaccinated. So the doors are, getting open.
Well, Governor Cuomo removed the COVID restrictions today.
Yeah,
all.
But because we're over 70% vaccinated in New York is why.
Yeah, that's why.
That's why, which is so awesome.
It is. It's fantastic. And
I'm still walking around
with your mask. It's gonna take a while, I think, to get that really gone. I think it's gonna take a while, but we're doing great. So everybody needs to get vaccinated out there, please.
Do it so that we can really move freely and comfortably. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. And the reason why we want to do it is because we can start playing together again. And we did our first concert. I saw you, and sang with you and sang with a rhythm section for the first time a couple, a week and a half ago for this first Vocal Gumbo After Dark show.
I know.
What about that?
Ladies and gentlemen, we are so proud to present our transitional Gumbo episode this Thursday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can get your tickets at momenthouse.com. But we had Catherine Russell over. We had Aubrey Johnson over. who's going to be joining us later, by the way. We had Lucy Winans over as our young artist. We had Charles Turner. We had Bette Sussman. We had John DiMartino, who's going to be joining us in a minute. We had Boris Kozlov. We had Oscar Feldman on soprano sax and alto. It was crazy.
We were giddy, and you cried even.
I did. You were crying too.
You were crying.
No, no, seriously, folks. When I heard the sound of live music, when I heard the sound of Boris and John playing together, I wept.
Yeah,
I did.
I know. You don't even realize it. I think that's the thing about where we've been holding ourselves in place for so long and sort of just dealing with it and coping. But like that was like a floodgate of emotion that just came in, and you're like, oh my God, and I'm near people too. I'm near and I'm connecting with people. So it's going to be a beautiful, beautiful show. And we sure hope that you might be thinking about joining us on Thursday, because you have the added benefit that if it's not convenient for you at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 4 p.m. Pacific Time, and all the other, combinations of that number, you can watch it for 24 hours on demand. So we've made it easy for you to do that. And we sure hope you'll watch it, because we'd like to know if you like this new concept. Like, we want to know, what do you think? How do you think Vocal Gumbo should move back into post-pandemic music making?
Yes, we'd like to take a survey of sorts, because Lauren and I used to do things live at Zinc Bar and at Birdland Theater. We did, which was so much fun also. Yes. So we could certainly return to that. But yes. This way we can sort of get people from all over the world in a way. Well, there were a lot of great things about the past year, and that certainly was one of them. Being able to access our singer community in any part of the world, because everyone was home.
I think that's what we're thinking, is that we'll do a little bit of a combination of both, in that we really love these collaborations. But this particular show, we were workshopping, we were beta testing.
Ooh, look at you.
Just feeling fancy. We were checking it out, this new concept. So again, tune in to Vocal Gumbo After Dark, where and my mom's already tuned in and said she's planning a crappy store excursion for all the Gumbo people. Well, see, there you go.
Oh my God. Hey, Jesse, how you doing,
Hey,
girl?
Jesse.
And good Richard Moore in Australia. Hello. Hello to you.
It's wonderful to see all of you guys. We've taken a little bit of a break from all of the vocal gumboizing that we've been doing, trying to regroup. So we've got a really great show for you on Thursday, performances that are just really beautiful and in the moment. And then we ate some good food.
And Bette Sussman cooked, we cooked, and you know what? Everybody did their stuff in one take. So it really was like So it was like a live show. So, and I want to thank everyone out there, supporters, our Patreon supporters, for hanging in with us while we experiment with this new format, transitional time. So thank you.
And we also have people to thank, like Jody Elf, who helped us with the sound, so that actually you're going to hear a really great mix, a really great quality recorded sound, which again, we don't want to skimp on quality here. We don't do that kind of thing. We don't buy cheap wine.
We don't do that here at Vocal Gumbo. No. What are you drinking, girl?
I'm just drinking a nice little rosé. It's summertime.
Okay. I got
summertime here.
You
know what I'm saying?
I do know what you're saying.
In whatever glass that they had in this room that I'm staying. It's not a sexy glass, but it's a glass with beautiful rosé. So let's not be judgy. And also, we'd like to thank Lori Green and Rob Marcus for filming, being our two camera.
They were awesome.
Team that, again, we were literally like, here, you hold this camera.
They were awesome. They were really awesome. Why don't we get someone on with us who is actually there?
Who was there to tell all the tales?
Yes. There he is. Johnny D.
Hey. Well, I'm really excited to hear this episode. Well, all the episodes, but there was so much amazing spontaneous combustion. There were so many moments, like great moments that happened. So I'm really excited to see it. You know, it was such a blast.
And that kind of thing really only happens when people are together, I think.
Yeah. You got to be in the same room, feel the energy, you know, vibe off each other. And it went so many different ways too. Like, you know, as our live vocal gumbos always do, you know.
Right.
It was really fun.
I know. And so, I mean, you've been doing a little bit of gigging, right? You've kind of been tiptoeing out there. So what does it feel like to start playing for live breathing bodies again in the room that actually you can really, it's not just artist to artist communication, but it's audience, you know, like being in the room with people that are vibing with you and in a different way. I mean, that's something we've really missed. Like, what does that feel like?
Totally. I mean, I feel very blessed that I've been in the studio a whole lot this year. So that's replaced, you know, playing live, but it doesn't really replace playing live because that chemistry of having the audience is just as much a part of the music making as the musicians. It's very special, and I feel like we created that in the Janis Siegel, you know, and so I encourage everybody. You're going to really enjoy this episode, you know.
Now, it was nice probably to have you played with Boris recently.
Yeah, what did we do? We did something. In Nyack at the wonderful club Maureen's, like some months back.
Oh yeah.
Oh, great.
We've done it actually, and we've been in the studio quite a bit. Yeah, we did a long distance project with a singer in Austria. You know, part of the band was here and the other part was there, and it was just amazing. And of course, you know how the technology is. It sounds like we were all in the same room.
Yeah.
Now, you and Janis have not been slackers in the pandemic. You guys didn't. You made not one but two records together. So,
that's right.
Like, are you guys just trying to win like best, like best overachieving artist while in quarantine? What the hell?
I never thought about, but you know, I brag about, if I may brag, about how eclectic we are. Because we went from a potpourri of great songs to a Brazilian CD, to a Yiddish CD, to a country CD. So the next should be like, I guess, Yiddish, Brazilian, country. We'll mix it all together, melange.
I mean, you guys are you're insatiable, and I think that's why though you guys are a good team, because you two have both been playing together, partners in crime in a creative way for quite some time, right?
Yeah. Really, right. It was for Night Songs. Really, was the first time, right?
That was the first, and then we met in a very informal jam session on a jazz cruise. It's actually what happened was the musicians would commandeer this nice woman. She had a solo piano gig, you know, and we would just kind of bogart her gig, and she didn't mind. She loved going to the bar. Go ahead, guys, play, you know. And she was taking up on drinks. Keep playing, and that's how Janis and I got to meet. But it was a wild jam session that.
Dave Kikowski was there.
Oh, Dave Kikowski wanted to play his saxophone, and we're dear friends. Right. And he grabbed me by the collar and said, "Come." He wanted me to play for him because he wanted to play saxophone. And it's funny, the ship actually put a kibosh on that because it was unauthorized, you know. But the audience loved it. In fact, the fact that it was unauthorized made it more exciting because you never knew who was going to wander in. Freddie Cole, you know, who would come in and play. May he rest in peace.
Yeah, so I sat in on John, and John was the pianist, and I went,
Yeah, Janis kind of collects musicians like she collects fine bottles of wine that she loves.
Look at that analogy! Whoa.
But she's a connoisseur, you know, and I do appreciate, because also your records, Janis, are always historically sprinkled with people that you really admire, but also people that you want to share with the world. You're like, I want to shine a light on this person and that person. And so I guess it's also like really cool how you always make make a way for your platform to also be shared with so many people.
Well, thank you. I think that's true. I mean, like Edgemar Castaneda, I wanted to share him with the world. I said, you gotta hear this guy. Come on.
Pretty amazing.
But I may not be a connoisseur, but I know what I like.
Yes, you do. So Johnny, what's going on with you? Or do you have anything coming up that you'd like to promote for upcoming shows? Or
actually, I'll be at where am I going to be? I have a gig coming up in July 9th. I'll be at Mesro with Ed Cherry. Great guitarist,
nice.
Great guitarist, Dizzy Gillespie alumni. But actually, next week, I'll be doing something at the West Bank Cafe with a great young singer. I don't know if you guys have had him on yet, Nicholas King. You guys know Nicholas King?
I
really
know
talented guy.
Yes.
Yeah. We're doing something at the West Bank Cafe. Has started a series, right there in Midtown. Actually, right around the corner from Boris. We should call Boris to come and play bass with us.
Absolutely. And then Hakinchi Trios.
Yes.
Going to be at Mohonk.
We've got that coming up.
Yeah.
On the 16th of July.
Yeah.
I'm old-fashioned with the calendar, paper calendar.
It's got to be analog. That's all right. That's still beautiful. Well, you're all about analog. Your hands are on the keys, so you're still tactile. Yes. Oh, that's so great. And it was great to just kind of also, I thought it was a nice flow. People aren't going to feel that in the actual show of the taping, but like we would be like, take a minute. Oh, go get a sip of wine. Why don't you have a plate of pasta? Okay, next artist. There was time to like kind of eat and I don't know, just connect. It was really beautiful energy.
It was really great. And one of my favorite moments, I'll let it out of the bag. Charles Turner had a whole chorus of us singing with him from the couch.
Yeah.
That was so fun.
The very spontaneous Turner and the Turnettes.
Yeah. yes. Turner and hey, Elizabeth.
Hey, Elizabeth.
How you doing, girl?
Nice to see you. Nice to see our friends.
It's like Charles Turner and the Turnarounds.
Yeah, the Turnarounds. I like that.
Oh my God.
Oh.
Your mother is hilarious.
Whoa.
Oh my God.
I mean, you've got it. I mean, I think, well, that's really the idea for the After Dark, that we're really, if we were going to do it and really take it to the edge of the whole concept, Janis, you and I should be doing it in our silk pajamas.
Absolutely.
And we should have a martini in our hand at all times. So
no problem.
Listen, there's room for this to move around, but as we sort of tried the whole thing out, it really turned out great. But yeah, I mean, sure,
and
Linda.
You need to have a pipe.
Great.
Who needs a pipe?
Lauren.
Anybody.
Oh, Lauren.
Okay. All right. I'll do the pipe. Yeah. So we had Catherine Russell, who the next day had a gig. So she was like, she came in and left because she had an early flight. And how much you were probably on that show, because she was on the very first Vocal Mania, right, John? When we did that club back at the Zinc Bar, and she came on with LaTanya Hall and
Carolyn Lenhart.
Thank you.
Great.
And they did their trio set, which was
killing.
Catherine and I had a long day that day because we were doing this the New York Hot Jazz workshop. So we were in a teaching mode earlier, and then so we came in warmed up.
Very nice.
I think you guys taught us some good things that day.
Oh.
Yeah, it is kind of fun though to teach and then have to go do a gig, because you're really in the mindset of like, okay, I just told a bunch of people how my method is, and so I better actually apply what I just spoke of, like in this performance, because you sometimes go, oh, right, maybe I should make sure if I'm doing all that stuff I tell everybody to do.
Practice what you preach.
I think it can be very inspiring. I have a memory of when I was with Ray Barretto, we did the workshop years ago, when the Thelonious Monk workshop was out in Aspen. We were so inspired by all these young, talented kids who now have great careers. But I remember I thought we played our best concert because these youngsters, like, they inspired us so much. Hey, we're preaching, and practice what we preach.
Yeah.
I have a technical question. How do you figure out where your camera is? Is mine over there? I don't know. I can't see. Am I looking at you now?
Yes. We just looked up your nose, so we're good. We're really good. So so we had Catherine. We had Charles Turner, who is just this wonderful, talk about a sultry, lush sound, swinging sound that he has. And we had Lucy Winans, who's the recent winner of the Ella Fitzgerald competition. What'd you think about that beautiful instrument?
Yeah. By the way, she's at Mesero tonight.
Hey, people.
Yeah, that's why she couldn't join us.
I'm very excited. But although we had Lucy at our Vocalmania show a couple of years ago, so we've been watching her little light, spark and spark and spark, and it's been really fun to watch her just come into her own and mostly just finish up school and do the work and be ready to really just go. I mean, we've seen a lot of young talent, and they're now launched. I mean, Samara Joy, the record's out.
Woo! I mean, Purchase. Right? What's in the water at Purchase?
What are they doing?
Yeah.
Well,
I had the fun experience to work with both of them together. It was actually it was an Alexis Cole gig, and she couldn't make the gig, so she said, "I'm going to send them my two students." I said, "All right," but it was an amazing experience. But I feel like you, Lauren, the vocal manias and vocal gumbos. I feel like I'm witnessing the evolution of mankind, because I can't believe what some of these singers do. I mean, I'm going blank. There's a name I want to say. I'm going blank.
Michael Mayo.
That's exactly. But you read my mind.
I know.
I wanted to say Michael Mayo
because we're connected. That's right.
I heard him change keys like there was a little button, like on a synthesizer. And I'm like, how did he do that? It's just so amazing. So I feel it's the evolution of mankind. It's the same thing with sports. People can throw a ball further each year, or they can stretch. Yeah. They can jump higher.
Yeah.
So it's so amazing.
I do think the programs that these kids, our young adults are really rising up and going through our programs that have been really thoughtfully realized to instead of thinking as singers as being a singer, and then there's the instrumentalists as the musicians, that we're raising singer musicians, right? And we've been screaming about that for years. That all those of us that really try and bridge that gap, but there wasn't always many programs, I should say, that really knew how to actually design a program to give them the tools to really be on par with everybody on the bandstand. And now you see these, and they're not only are they on par, but they're actually kicking some serious butt. I mean, Michael Mayo's new record is out right now, and we've witnessed what he does like live and in the moment. And all you can do is just listen and try and pick up your jaw. Just go, I'm calm, because I'm like, I can't even believe what I'm hearing. And you're right. It goes beyond singing. They hear, it's like 360 degrees of music that's living in their body.
That's well put, Lauren. Absolutely right. Yes. There's a new generation of instrumentalist singers. Yeah. Like Camille Berthaud, for instance.
I know.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Right? Oh. Yes. Russian.
Yeah, it's true. So we've got really, really great young artists to continue to celebrate. And that's been a big part of both Vocalmania and Vocal Gumbo, is just trying to latch onto the coattails of our young artists and being a part of watching them fly. So Lucy Winans, she's going to sing the song that won the contest, right? Or one of the songs, I should say. Maybe, I don't know if it did a couple, but so we're going to hear from her, and then we heard from Bette Sussman, who also happened to make our dinner, right?
Well, she made some of it. But you contributed to our dinner.
All I did was make sure that we had the Colombian beautiful green sauce that we discovered out in my hometown, Hampton Bays, that Janis said, I need 3 quarts of that.
I just finished it last night. Just last night, because I've been using it in everything.
It's like your little black dress. It goes with everything.
Yes, and my pearls.
Your egg cheese on a roll sandwich, green sauce.
Anything. Seriously, yeah. But Bet made a killing pesto, from the real way with butter. You know, that's and we had a feast. We did have a feast. And Bet sang a beautiful version of Rodgers and Hart tune, which you'll hear if you tune in.
Absolutely.
Very soulful version. I loved it.
It was great. Yeah.
Really nice.
Yeah. Well, we're so happy that you're here with us today. And we've got the other thing we're going to bounce around and do is this show will be this Thursday, but then the next one we do before Janis and I take a vacation, which is not really going to be a vacation because, I want to ask you about the record that the Manhattan Transfer is recording in August. Hint, hint. But so before we do that, ask that question, we're going to do one more show. And in that show, I just want to try and contain the nervous and excited energy I feel for the fact that like Mark Kibble is writing an arrangement for Janis and I and Mark to sing.
Nice.
An Al Jarreau tune.
Whoa.
And we have Jay Graydon on tap to play guitar.
Whoa.
Yep.
Yeah, I can't even deal with that. That's already too exciting to even think about. And then we have a couple other wonderful artists. Emily Braden, who is anybody catching some of the wind of and energy from Emily these days? She's all over the internet. She's doing these wonderful speakeasy gigs with her trio right now that actually the New York Times is doing a nice piece on. And she's on fire. And she's just so damn musical and just great energy.
Just incredible. Yeah.
Yeah. So she's going to be on the show doing a nice piece. Sasha Cohen. No, not Sasha Cohen. What am I saying?
I wish.
I know that would be fun.
That would be hilarious.
Sasha Boutros.
Sasha Boutros.
There it is. Or Sasha Cohen.
I just texted her and told her that you're in San Diego.
Borat's going to come.
You should look Sasha up. She lives in San Diego.
Yeah, I just texted her your number I said Lauren's in San Diego because I didn't realize you're in San Diego. Yeah.
We've already just texted. She's on her way over with a bottle of champagne.
There you go.
No.
She would. She totally would. You know that.
I'll send you her phone number if you don't have it.
She's really an incredible singer. I've been listening a little bit, to stuff she does in different languages. Her feel for Latin music, certainly. Really, really wonderful. John, how many records did you do with her?
I've done one, but it's a really nice record. It's called New York After Dark, and it's got Charles Stafford and Peter Washington and Louis Nash. It's a beautiful record.
Couldn't get any good players, huh?
But we're working on another one. Like we're in the process of planning another one. So see what direction. I really want to do because she sings in Spanish also so beautifully. So
beautiful.
Doing a record that's all basically in Spanish, She actually recorded one bolero on this record, but she's kind of saving it, I think, for another completely other project,
That sounds amazing.
But she sings in Arabic, she sings in French, she sings in
She's crazy. And she probably sings in Yiddish too.
I'm sure she will catch on very quickly.
Also on the following Vocal Gumbo episode 16, we have Nando Loria, who is an amazing Brazilian composer, guitarist, singer.
Who I found out after our Zoom or before our Zoom call, he and I were at Berkeley at the same time. So it's amazing to me that he was even there. And what a virtuosic singer and arranger and composer. So we can't actually we can't even pinpoint what we want to do because there's such a bountiful plate of options.
I think we have to make a decision.
We might need to make a decision soon. But so that show, the show of which we are speaking, is on July 9th at 7 p.m. And then that's going to be the last show we do because then Janis is actually going to go jump into the studio before she stops over, makes a pit stop in Mexico. She's going to do a new record, start recording with the latest record from the Manhattan Transfer. And you actually, among the great arrangers that are on this, you did a little arrangement too, my lady, my queen. What did you do?
Well, I did 2 vocal arrangements. I still have one to do actually, but I
love how you look to the right as if like it's right over there.
Yeah, there it is over there. But it's with the WDR Symphony, and we had some amazing arrangers like Vince Mendoza, Jeroen Grashowski, George or Jorge Calandrelli.
Blake Morgan.
Blake Morgan did a vocal arrangement of Agua, the Javan tune. It's killing. It's really great. Amanda Taylor did a vocal arrangement. Andrew Kessler did a couple of the charts as well. So I'm really excited. We're going to begin recording that in late July into August.
Now, is this your 50th anniversary record?
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, it is. Well, also Concord Records is releasing a 5 CD box set for our 50th, including some things from the vaults.
Oh.
Things that weren't released or were just too weird or.
So Janis, are you going to have time to still do our Vocal Gumbo show with all these like extraordinary things?
I wouldn't miss it for the world.
Yes. But that's exciting. You guys deserve all that sunshine, and it's going to be a great way for
sheer stamina, I think.
Sure.
What I think we should do is bring in another person who was there that fateful evening when we recorded episode 15. Can we please get a round of applause for Miss Aubrey Johnson?
Hey, Aubrey.
Aubrey, I love that you're popping in. Folks, everybody, just so you know, Aubrey just got home from a gig. So this, again, is music to our ears that we're like, she's popping in to be here, but it's not because, she was just in the other room making another pot of soup. She was she actually had a gig. And so where were you?
I was at the Ox Tavern in Ditmas Park, Brooklyn, doing a wonderful outdoor gig.
Ditmas Park. Wow.
Yeah, that's where I live now. Lots of changes in the pandemic. I moved down here from Harlem and playing with my neighbors, great friends of mine that live down here. So yeah, it's so nice to have gigs again.
Isn't
it's crazy.
What happened to John? Where'd you go, John?
John just left.
John left.
John has a gig.
Oh, I'm sure he does.
It's not really automatic that when someone else arrives, the other person gets booted off the sofa. But since this is our little sofa here, he can come back if he'd like. But if he's not coming back, thanks, John DiMartino, for coming.
Thank you, John.
Good to see you for a minute, John.
Exactly. Good talking to you. But so someone was just saying too that they just saw your that just little note that came up of a fan of yours just saw another collaboration of you and Jeroen Grashowski doing one of those like multi-layered 10 tracks plus a lead vocal extravaganzas that you guys just seem to do with ease. How did that relationship come to be?
Well, actually, through Janis, through both of you, that recording we did now maybe 4 years ago for Jose Mari Chan. He was on that session, as you remember, and we met then and kind of stayed in touch. And then during the pandemic, he was just like, I want to write some things. And it started out as just 1 line, and then it was 2, then it went to 4, and then it went to 8, and then back to 5. So after 8, 5 felt like very manageable. because I also double each track, so 8 was actually 16.
Oh my God!
You guys do all that all the time.
But that's fun though. I mean, that's fun to also do someone else's writing, right?
So fun. And it was such a great. I felt like each collaboration, my home recording abilities got better, as I'm sure you all experience as well. It's like
we're quite aware of that.
Yeah, like everybody just got so much better at that, and it's really important to be good at that anyway. It's kind of something that I needed to get together, and I'm glad that I did. But he really helped keep my ears sharp and my voice in shape.
So what else did you do during the quarantine? Did you go crazy? Did you?
Went crazy a few times, at least a few. I went home to Wisconsin with my parents for 4 months of it. That was actually really great. I never thought I could spend 4 months with my parents, but I had an amazing time with them. It was so nice, and their dog. So we had a great time together, and they have a beautiful grand piano. So I really had a lot of time to practice and be by myself and really focus, and it was great. And I did some streaming concerts while I was there, self-accompanying, which was really good.
Ooh.
To push myself. Yeah, hour-long sets, which I don't really do in real life, but realize that I can, so that was a really good thing for me. But yeah, also I teach at 3 colleges, Berkeley and Montclair State University and Queens College. So I was handling all that online, and a couple of vocal groups, as you guys did that as well. Teaching vocal groups online was a really new adventure. But I also wrote several new vocal arrangements, including one for us. Including one for the 3 of us that then I used, of course, with my group. I had an all women's group the next semester. I was so happy. I was like, I have this arrangement, and I had our recording. Yeah, so good. Loved singing with you so much. But I also did an arrangement of my title track from my album that came out right at the beginning of the pandemic, called Unraveled. I did it for University of North Texas jazz singers, and they premiered it at a socially distanced concert. And now I'm publishing it, which is my first time publishing one of my own vocal arrangements. I'm super excited about that.
Very exciting.
Yeah. So, actually a lot of ensemble stuff during the pandemic, which is funny.
And you turned us on to some wonderful young artists from Queens College.
Shabnam Abedi.
Oh my God.
And Robin Grasso.
Amazing.
Yeah, both of them. There's so much talent coming through there. It's amazing. Yeah, wonderful school.
Isn't that great though, that, you can still realize that you can work on stuff and get new skills together. I mean, even for people like Janis and I, this has been really affirming for us to go, all right, we're going to learn some new things too, and really be able to hang and keep ourselves busy, but also interestingly relevant. Mm-hmm. Really, holding your hand to the fire and saying, I'm going to deal with this. And I think there's been some really interesting things that have come out of this pandemic, that I'm sure there's going to be a million post-pandemic records, as well as post-pandemic babies and post-pandemic dog crises, because everybody got a dog and now they're trying to go back out on the road and they can't find someone to dog sit their dog.
Yes. Yes.
All the good and the bad. And your what you guys have done with Vocal Gumbo is just amazing. And the video editing that you got together, Lauren, is just insane. What?
Lauren and Lori have really blown my mind with what they've developed over the course of this year.
It's incredible. I tried to learn. I learned to some extent how to do it, but what you can do is way more advanced than what I can. I'm so impressed.
I think you got to like it is what you have to do. And it's the same thing as when when you're fine tuning your vocals and you're like, I want the vocal to sound like this. And I know to everybody else's ear that sounds good, but that you could just still do it just a smidge better. It's that same kind of thing that if you can find the mojo for it. And I do like it a lot, but you can definitely get lost in it. And I haven't gone to school for it. I'm just improvising. Literally, I feel like I'm doing video editing like I live my life, and like I cook my food, and like I write my music. It's the same way. It's like, I'll take this and this and try and smash those together. Yeah, I'll make it work. Yeah, it works. Okay, moving on. And like,
it's amazing. It's so inspiring.
But it's the same thing. It's all the same thing.
It is the same.
It's all,
same
yeah.
concept.
But we really loved having you on the show. It was really great to have you be a part of the first Vocal Gumbo After Dark,
It was so fun.
and have you go, yeah, I think I'm going to do this song. And then like the night before, you're like, yeah, I think I'm going to do something else. And so again, that's that other muscle that we're trying to remember how to use too, right? The one that was like, oh, I don't want to do that. Let me do something else, and let me risk something here.
Yeah.
Right. Well, it's like how I feel today.
Yeah.
How do you
This is
feel
what I
today?
want to do today.
Yeah, exactly. And thanks for letting me do that. I was thinking, because I was going to sing "Come Rain or Come Shine," and then I thought about who was going to be there, and I thought about, oh, these are all people who like, they just nail. They swing so hard, and they're so amazing. And of course, I love swinging as well, but I feel like maybe where I shine is more like in a straight eighth vibe, whatever. ECM, I hate to use that term, but ECM, modern, whatever.
That's what everybody uses.
Yeah, so we can call it that. And I thought, like, how can I set myself apart, or like be a good variety in this setting, without really getting to have a rehearsal. And so that's why I went ahead and chose a different song and with a different kind of feel. And I think it ended up being a great balance to what was there.
It was, because Catherine Russell laid down the swing vibe.
Exactly.
Yes.
Which I knew was going to happen. Yeah. So I think I felt like I made a good call there.
You did. You made a great call.
I really liked, though, in those moments, you brought in a chart that John DiMartino and Boris Kozlov didn't know, right? And you had to kind of describe the feeling, and then you had to deal with in the moment how they interpreted your expression, right? So that too is that muscle that we need to remember how to practice, how to be in the moment and go, oh, they're doing that. Oh, because I've listened to it a bunch of times because I've been editing the footage. And so I'm aware of like people getting on the diving board. Like I can hear like John, his one foot's on the diving board. Here comes Aubrey. Oh, Boris just came in. We're not quite sure and here we are, right? And that's why I come back to music all the time, is just, it's a dance of like listening and waiting and listening. I'll go, you go. And you guys made a really like original moment.
Thank you. I felt that too. And it's so nice to work with people like them that I know I can really trust. I was like, I know whatever happens,
right,
it's going to be good. And I don't need it to be exactly what I imagined it being.
Right.
Tempo wise, feel wise, it could kind of fluctuate in many directions, and I would just like to go with it. I feel the same way. That's what I love.
But you have to be mature though, too. There's a sense of maturity of you have to let go too, right? Like, because how many times have we also been like, no, but that's not the tempo, and you're like, you're right. But like the camera's rolling and here we go. And wait, this tempo, whatever, it's not even that song, but it's just that idea of.
But it's usually the singer's job to make something work.
Absolutely.
Whatever is happening in the moment, maybe it's not what was rehearsed or what you wanted, but it's what's happening.
Whatever it is, you have to sell it.
Yep.
That's your job. Make it sound like it was intentional.
That's right.
Exactly. Is that what you tell your students? You're like, yeah, I meant that.
Yeah. Yes, totally.
Yeah. I love that. It's true. Well, I can't get over that. You teach at 3 colleges. That's a lot of work, Aubrey.
It's a lot of colleges. Yeah. It is a lot of work. Thankfully, it's not tons of hours at each one.
So what do you do if you go on the road or something? If you have gigs?
It's a very careful navigation. But one of the many reasons I teach at colleges is because they actually want me to go on the road and do cool things. Makes them look good. But
they should want that.
Yeah. So usually it's, I can usually make it work. Each one has a different kind of protocol and stuff. So it gets a little messy. And actually I wasn't teaching at 3 colleges before the pandemic. It was only 2. So I took on a new one. I was like, well, I guess I have time. I shouldn't turn down work, So I took it on. But no, I think the people that I work with are really understanding and flexible. So I'm lucky, and my students are wonderful too. But it puts something on them too, to have to, like, they don't need to have someone every single week. Not that, I mean, I'm there most weeks, but you know what I mean? Like, they take care of themselves too, and that's good.
I think it's a different kind of student we're breeding post-pandemic, because we did learn a different skill. I mean, it used to be, I wasn't really big on the Skype lesson thing. I can teach from anywhere. I was still like, how does that work?
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm like, oh yeah, no, we could totally do a lesson if you want while I'm in Germany. And, if I can find a piano, whatever.
Yeah.
And we could have a productive lesson
Mm-hmm.
with somebody. And I hadn't really crossed that bridge yet. Right.
Yeah.
But the other thing is like the students had to cross that bridge too. Like
Mm-hmm.
we also, and so they're suddenly, they too can reach out across the planet and go, who do you want to study with?
Right.
Who would you like to reach out to?
Right.
I'd like to study with, someone over there. And so I think it's going to be an interesting shift in academia post-pandemic, how
Mm-hmm.
we use some of the gifts of the way this is working.
Yeah.
Into as we enter into like maybe the model that is the model, right?
Mm-hmm.
Again, I think it's going to be a hybrid, like we were talking about how we move Vocal Gumbo forward, because there were some elements of the past year that were really, really cool and productive.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that you could teach from anywhere was good.
Yeah, it has been really good. But I was going to say about Vocal Gumbo, it's been so cool that you've been able to have people from all over the world. I mean, it's such an obvious thing to say, but it's been so amazing. Normally you only have New York, which of course everybody, there's so many great people here and people come through here, but getting to see like the variety you're able to achieve.
It was pretty exciting. Amazing. We had singers from Japan, from France, from Spain, from Finland, from Sweden, from Hawaii, from Italy. It really, really was fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
I was touched by
Singapore.
another woman, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was touched by a dear friend of mine who we all know, Rosanna Eckert, who one day after one of our shows we did, I really appreciate this because, of course, when we hear from our peers, it's a beautiful affirmation. But Janis and I don't necessarily come from like a background where like we studied vocal arranging. We just are kind of like, we're in the moment, we'll write it out and we'll do it. But this show allowed us to like write and arrange and develop that muscle and that really fast flowing writing muscle that I used to do so much of. And it was really great to get back to kind of an original thing about what brought me to music in the first place. And I remember Rosanna called me up one day and said, I just watched the show and there was like probably 3 vocal arrangements that you and I did, Janis, with various people and then producing the show. But she was just really zeroing in on what we created in a month with all these different things and just throwing, some sunshine on it to just say, good on you, like get good job. And it really has been a lot of fun to figure out how to do this in the privacy of our homes and find a way to not only work with artists, but Janis and I have to collaborate with each other too. Mm-hmm. Right. So it's been very extraordinary.
Your arranging is just incredible. Even just like when I wrote the arrangement for the 3 of us, I realized like, wow, I had so much fun writing it, but I really didn't need to write it. I could have just sung the melody and you would have sung something perfect.
But that's fun for us too. I mean,
it's fun.
We like doing all of it, and your arrangement.
I just complimented you. That's all.
Yeah, thank you. But yeah, your arrangement was really, really great too, and we'll play that one of these days as well. Again, we'll give it another round.
Absolutely.
So we're so grateful that you tried out this little format. What did you think? What did you think about how it went? Is that something we should? Was that kind of fun to sit in the room in that intimate way?
It was a blast. It was a party, and it was so fun. I feel like I've done a lot of vocal gumbos, and you do have a chance to get to meet, vocal mania, vocal gumbos, the other people that are singing when it's in person, but it was so intimate And we spent the whole evening together. We kind of went on this little journey of like a rehearsal, sound check, and then filming and supporting each other. And I felt like I made a bunch of new friends. So beyond getting to see an amazing concert, it was just a blast. Yeah.
And the pasta was good.
And I didn't even mention the food. The food was ridiculously good. It was amazing.
I know.
Yes.
Well, we're so happy that you were there and helping us again create a new thing, right? And we entrusted that to the people that we invited, because we knew that not only would they bring beautiful performances, but they would bring positive energy that would help, that would give us the time and be patient and do all those things that need to happen when you're trying to make something new. But do you have something else that you'd like to tell people, other gigs that you'd like to share with people, so that we make sure is there anything coming up that you want to share with our folks here?
Well, sure. Tomorrow, if anyone's in Brooklyn, I'm singing at Bar Bayou in Lefferts Gardens. And I'm singing with the great Marta Sanchez, a pianist, and Martin Devon, the bass player. We're doing a 5 to 7:30 happy hour vibe. And then I am going, if anyone's in Michigan, I'm going to be in Detroit I guess that's next week. Yeah, June 24th, 5th, and 6th. I'm going to be singing with Randy Napoleon, the guitar player.
Oh, wow.
And Rodney Whitaker on bass.
Oh, yeah.
And Quincy Davis.
Where?
At Cliff Bell's in Detroit. And then we're going to do some recording after that. So,
beautiful.
It's so cool to have that on the calendar. The first traveling gig of the new world. So if you're in Detroit, please come out and check us out.
Well, people should go, because you'll be a part of the energy that actually, goes into the stuff that's going to go to the record. I mean, part of it too is like, I love when you're workshopping a record live. And you're finessing and you're figuring out a few things like on the stage, and later you're like, oh wait, no, we should have gone to the B right there. Okay, let's insert 4 bars. It needs to breathe. All that stuff happens in workshop mode, and then you guys go in and record all that.
That's perfect. That's really perfect. We do have a listener that's in Ann Arbor.
Oh, so awesome!
That would be great.
You can come on over.
Yeah.
Come say hi, please. Be awesome.
Oh, Jessica.
Jessica, thank you for playing. She played my music on her radio show. Thank you so much for that. Yeah, that was so nice.
Yeah, we have a lot of really good friends who have supported Vocal Gumbo and made it possible for us to continue doing this and feel like it's falling on good listening ears and all that kind of stuff. So. And we're just so excited. So this Thursday, Aubrey, is the big show, and we're putting all the buttons and bows on it. It's happening at 7 p.m. and people just have to go to momenthouse.com and get the ticket. And it's $15. And we actually, I don't know if you want to brace for this, everybody. I even need a drum roll here. But the show comes in under an hour.
Whoa. That has to be a first.
We're so bad, Aubrey. We're
bad. We're very bad.
We're so bad. We're
so bad.
It's just like, okay, the show creeps into like way too long all the time. Only for our diehard fans do they last to the bitter end. But so it's a nice set. And so you can put it on and you can enjoy it. You could sit down and have your dinner, and we'll all you won't have to hang
dinner
out.
And a show. Dinner and a show.
Show. What do you want? So I hope everybody will join us. And Janis, are there any other tidbits that I'm forgetting here?
I think what?
We are donating. Our charity is the American Heart Association, right?
Yes.
No. Yes.
No.
Yes. Yes. Yes, it is. Yes, it is, because we have our red blazers on.
Oh, right.
Lady Blaze.
We're lady blazing.
And I have pink blazer.
You know what? I followed that hashtag, and it apparently has something to do with women's sports.
Oh.
But that's not what
You're
I was
repurposing it, yeah.
That's not what I was referring. I was referring to Maria Bamford, who I love.
Me too.
Oh my God.
She's amazing.
She is so freaking funny.
Oh, she's
love
the
her.
best. Mm-hmm.
So Vocal Gumbo After Dark premieres. It's a premiere, new concept, new pair of sassy shoes for everybody to enjoy. Oh, vocal jazz is a sport, says Evan Sanders. You're right, my friend.
You're right. You're right.
You should know you're in a vocal jazz group with a bunch of men. So
Yep.
yeah. So yeah, it is a sport. And so 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, momenthouse.com. We're going to donate 10% of the proceeds to the American Heart Association, especially on behalf of our good friend Lori Green. And Richard says he's going to have breakfast and a show. We're flexible, however you want to squeeze it in, people. And then mark your calendar. July 9th is the next episode, 16, before we take the summer off to regroup and
to do things that other normal people do, like read a book or things, relax maybe.
Yeah,
so well deserved.
Yeah, we're going to do a little bit of that. So we'd like to thank Aubrey and John DiMartino so much for joining us for this hour. We hope that we have wet your whistle and encouraged you to join us this Thursday night. We really would love to know what you think about this new concept, and we'd like to know if you'd like us to continue to take this down the roadway. And part of that responsibility is that you can be a part of it by buying a ticket and supporting these efforts.
Thank you, everyone, and thank you to everyone that hung in with us while we were sort of deliberating this next episode.
Yes, and especially a shout out to our Patreon family, who are steadfast, good friends of ours, and all the good friends that tune into the show all the time. So again, Catherine Russell, Charles Turner, Aubrey Johnson, Lucy Winans, and Bette Sussman, and then of course Janis Siegel and I, this Thursday night coming to you. So get your tickets, and we'll see you guys there.
Calling all around the world. Mumbo jumbo, stir up the gumbo. Calling all around the world. Get it. Start with a roux, that's me and you. Add the Holy Trinity. That's rhythm, chords, and melody. Come on now, add your spice. Tell your story, very nice. Calling all around the world. Stir that vocal gumbo now. Calling all stir it up, stir it up. Get it.
People are gonna think we're nuts. We're ladybirds.